Schrijven, grap. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Vertical Weekly EMA, the place where we take you guys through the latest updates, the things that are happening behind the scene, and of course, give you guys the ability to ask questions directly to the team. And guys, like always, we try to prepare an as much interesting EMA for you guys, where we really take you into depth of what we are building behind the scenes, right? And what we are building is it's big. Like, we as Vertical, we really want to become a giant in this space, not only in AI but also in Web3, And to do this, we really got to make sure that the products that we build are technologically advanced compared to our competitors. And I'm not talking only about our competitors in Web3 maybe, but also the ones that we have in Web2. Because creating very capable and usable tools will strengthen our token utilities. And this is something that our CTO, Mac, will explain to you guys a little bit in more depth what we are exactly building in a way that is, the easiest understandable as possible. Obviously, it's way more complex than he might let it sound, but it's awesome, right? It's truly something, missing in the market, something groundbreaking that we haven't seen anywhere yet. Vertical is truly trying to build a platform where any team, any person can use, can customize, can build, deploy their AI models, without needing to code, without needing to understand the technicalities, and obviously use those models either on our platform or integrate them through our API externally in their agents or whatever workflow that they need that custom AI solution for. So super exciting. After Mac, I'm gonna take you guys also a little bit through our token distribution or our liquidity distribution plan. Some of you have already notified it in the community chat, and that is that in exactly 1 week, our liquidity pool will become unlocked. And well, this actually, gives us two very interesting opportunities. First of all, is we can celebrate the first anniversary of Vertical, which is an astonishing milestone that we've reached. We've been building and grinding for over a year. We've been showing you guys what we are doing along the way, and we've built an amazing community. But on that part, we'll be sharing more next week on our actual first day anniversary. But just to give you guys more information about what we are planning to do with our liquidity unlock, I will be sharing with you our liquidity distribution plan, and that includes a lot of things, but I'll share it with you after Mac has given you guys the presentation about, what the Vertical Studio is all about. So Mac, how are you doing, buddy? You've been working hard.
Very
Take us
well.
a little bit through your mind, man.
I'm doing very well. Very busy on gathering feedback on the studio version one. It was a big relief yeah, going live with the studio and yeah, working hard, working very hard, and a lot of exciting things coming up for Vertical. Just this is just the beginning. The studio version one is just the beginning. And guys, I'm gonna take you through a more technical depth of all the insight we got and of a quite a bit of a new direction we're maybe taking from here. Um, but yeah, let's just go into the slides. I'm gonna go through the slides and I will explain everything so it's very clear for everyone what we are going to build.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited.
Okay. Good stuff. Well,
So let
let's
me share my
bring
screen.
it up then.
Yes, sir. So do you guys see my screen? Do you guys see my screen or not?
Yeah, we see your screen.
Perfect, perfect.
Let's see. I'll remove myself from the scene. I do think that if I'm removed, people can't hear me anymore. So maybe I'll just stay. All right.
So,
Okay.
guys, Studio version one we launched a few weeks ago. We had 250 spots available. They were filled, and we got a lot of feedback out of it. We talked with a lot of customers. We talked with a lot of companies that were interested in our technology, and of course, we are focused on fine tuning, right? And this is just one step of our platform. But talking to our customers, we miss one crucial part, and that is how do we measure which model or which AI stack performs the best based on speed, accuracy, and cost, because they want to compare their solutions, their models, to get to see to have insights in which model performs the best, which solution performs the best, and how can we as Vertical determine which AI stack is best suited for each user and use case. Well, basically, we can try to do that for you, but you can also do it by yourself, right? And that's why we came up with a new product, and it's called Studio Laboratory. And this is a place where users can test and compare their setups based on real performance metrics. So they also can focus on real problems like cost, like latency, like accuracy. So we came up with well, it's not a different vision, but it's an adjusted vision of Vertical. And I'm going to go through it. So Vertical Studio's vision is to make it simple for companies to build, test, and improve their own custom AI solution without the needing of deep technical expertise. Through our no-code platform, users can combine and customize components like system prompts, which is one, knowledge graphs, and LoRa fine-tuning, and create their own test suites to benchmark accuracy, speed with latency, and cost in our studio laboratory. This gives companies, but also users, clear insights into the performance and helps them compare, evolve, and deploy the best AI configurations for their specific use case. So you see this bold point. So here you see the system prompts, the knowledge graphs, and the LoRa fine-tuning, and the test suites. We see these as features, as separate modules, and I'm going to talk about that later. Then we see a few pain points that we might solve for users. You see accuracy, speed, and cost. Well, everyone wants to lower their AI workload on cost, right? They want to reduce their cost. Everybody wants faster AI, and also everybody wants a more accurate AI. But yeah, how do you know? How do you compare all these models to each other? That's where Studio Laboratory comes in. So I was talking about these modular parts, and we see the studio, the Vertical Studio, as a modular dynamic workspace where you can select models, either base models like GPT, Claude, Grok, or fine-tune models. Well, we have the capability to fine-tune, so you can fine-tune a smaller model and use that model as well. So this is what we want to do. We want to make a modular, switch between models easily, and we have variety of models in our library. So this is one module, and keep this in mind. It's a module, so you can use it apart. It's a building block. That's why I presented it like this. Then we have a system prompt. Well, you can also create your own system prompt. We want to make sure that you can edit your system prompt using CRUD, but also version it. So you have different versions of system prompts. These system prompts are also modular, which means you can add or connect a system prompt to a specific model, but also to another model. And in the Studio Laboratory, you can put these models next to each other with system prompt X and system prompt Y and compare them on accuracy, cost, and speed. We still will have the generate system prompt based on your goal feature. That's what we already have in the current workflow of the studio. But as you see in the current workflow at Studio, for the ones that used it, it's a guarded workflow. And now we want a workspace, a dynamic workspace where you can play around with these modules. So this is module 2, is a system prompt. Then we have one of our biggest technologies and something we are very unique in as well, the knowledge graph. And the knowledge graph is, of course, to build together with Levanchi Laboratories, with Braden, with our big partnerships. And this is also a modular part. And what can you do with a knowledge graph? Basically, the idea is that you can put whatever file in a knowledge graph, PDF, a docs, even images, even audios, and it will make a vector embedding, will make an embedded database of it, which you can look into to add domain knowledge to your model. So how does it work? Basically, you send a prompt to a model, and it first will search into your knowledge graph. What kind of domain knowledge does it have? Let's say you're a finance bro and you have a lot of finance data. Well, then basically it will search in your knowledge graph. It will search for the files that you uploaded in your graph. It will get domain knowledge and it will send it to your AI model. This will also be a modular part, which you can edit, you can version, so there's version control on it. And you can make different kinds of versions and also connect it to different kind of models in combination with different kind of system prompts. See it as another building block. So then we have the test suites, and this is basically comes from the Studio Laboratory. So what are test suites? Basically, it's also a modular building block, but you can put a input and a desired output. Have different kind of lines, so multiple lines with input and output, and you can run these test suites on the models that you don't, basically the AI stacks that you have created. I will show this in the next slide. That makes it more clear, I hope. So this is the Studio Laboratory, guys. So how does it work? On the top, you see the models. These are different models. You see a GPT-5 model. You see a fine-tuned Mistral 22 billion model, very small model, also very fast and cost efficient. And we have a open source cloud model again. Then you can connect your system prompt, your modular system prompt to this model. But you can connect a different system prompt to this model. And then also a different system prompt to this model. Then this AI stack has a knowledge graph. This AI stack has also a knowledge graph. This AI stack doesn't have a knowledge graph. You have different test suites. In this example, it looks different, but basically these are the same test suites, and you run the different AI stacks on these test suites. Basically, it will be a dashboard where you can have an overview. You run the test suites on these stacks, and you see an overview of your accuracy, your latency, and your cost. This way you can very easily compare different kind of combinations with these building blocks. And why do you want this? Because you want your best AI stack for your specific use case, right? And we want to make this very accessible and possible for non-technical people eventually. So I hope you get the idea. So this is one evaluation, right? But you can combine. Now we have different kind of evaluation with a fine-tuned Mistral 22. These are smaller models, right, with different kind of system prompts, a different kind of knowledge graphs, and you check, okay, what does it do to the metrics, right? This is a very, very basic example. You can also just compare basic AI base models like GPT-5 and Grok 4. So maybe you just want to see, okay, how does it perform on latency and accuracy and cost? So you just have the same system prompt, two different models, and you can check what metrics it has. These are the use cases for the Studio Laboratory, and we think it's very valuable because before you add a AI stack in your workspace, in your own workflow, you might want to compare models and see what's best. So here, a separation of how it will look like. So we have like the Theoretical Studio, and here you define these modules, these blocks. So the system prompt, the model, the knowledge graph, and you can have different kinds of versions with different kind of data, and you can combine them in the Studio Laboratory to get results, to get basically an insight in the metrics it gives. I hope that's clear to everyone. And we think this is a very big product that we didn't see yet on the market. So let's say I found the perfect stack for my use case. Well, then still you can access it via API access and put it into your own workflow via Vertical. So basically we host it, we make sure it runs right, and we give you the API key, and you can put it in your own AI workflow. Now, how does it work in the vertical economy? Because still we have the VertiAI token, and it has great utilities in my opinion, because many companies might use this, and they want to use vertical AI to buy their credits or subscriptions. So we still have to buy platform credits with VertiAI and get this 50% discount. Also, through our upcoming staking for credit module, B2B clients will be able to buy and stake VertiAI, log into our protocol, and earn credits as APY. So that's a very nice mechanic as well. So basically you lock your vertical tokens, and every month you will, based on how much VertiAI you stake, you will get credits which can be used in the Vertical Studio, but also the Vertical Stream, which I will talk about very soon. Also, the next utility, bring new users to Vertical AI and pocket a share of their spend. Lock VertiAI to unlock higher commission tiers up to 20% payouts for monthly in USDC or VertiAI. So this basically affiliate utility, which Mark will explain further. One thing, maybe you're thinking about, okay, what happened with the stream? I have a surprise because Stream version 2 is coming by. It's very soon. We are working on a Stream version 2 Stream version 2, and basically this will be a much more improved version of what we have now. We'll have a super chat where you can use all models in one chat and combine inputs and outputs. Eventually, in the future, models that are created in the studio can also be shared on the stream as basically agents. So that's still the idea in the long term. I think, Mark, I think I've made it clear. I hopefully it's clear. I think you can take over here regarding the virtual economy.
I I mean, yeah, all right. I hope everyone can hear me. So, guys, you know what it is with the utilities that we've built, right? Um, Utilities within a token economy only, have weight when those tokens can be used to access highly capable and usable products, and get access to technologies that without the token it didn't make sense. So, and that is what we're doing, right? To the most bullish thing that we can do for our token economy is building impressive tools, making sure that we can get enough actual users of our platform into the studio or the stream, because the better our products become, the more usable they become, the more technologically advanced they are compared to competitors in the market, the more incentivized our users are to get to participate into our token economy. And for example, right, if we take the second utility, the staking for credits, this one is actually super powerful because imagine a company, they access the studio, they have built their AI solution within the studio that they're satisfied with, which they evaluated based on the performance metrics that they deem to be important. And now they host it with us and they have integrated this into their product. Their users, right, their clients are going to be massively running inference through that API on our platform. And this is going to, cause usage to inference. If for that compute usage for inference, they need those credits. So a company is actually incentivized to buy up, a large portion of the tokens and just stake them, because he will get those credits to support the usage of his AI creation. And that buying up of vertical tokens, they need to lock it into the staking protocol. And probably we're going to add, if they lock it for longer, they don't have to lock it, but if they lock it for longer, they can get more credits, and therefore incentivizing lock up in our token economy, increasing the total value lock of our economy. So this is super impressive, right? But to make sure that that utility actually has weight, we gotta make that studio. We gotta make it, with the building blocks that Mac just explained. We gotta show a product that fills in a gap in the market, that solves a pain point of our clients. And that is exactly what we're doing here, right? We're really building a company here with an actual product that solves a pain point so that we incentivize our users to participate in our token economy. And this goes for all the three utilities that we have described here, right? How can why would someone use the stream and buy vertical to get a 15% discount if there's nothing to use there? Why would anyone promote our platform if we're not actually solving someone and therefore not accelerating that, referral rev share program? So this all comes down, guys, and that is the message that I'm trying to say here is, the better our tools become, the more technologically advanced they are, the more competitive they are, the more bullish it is for our token economy. So I hope Mac manages to give you guys a little insight into, the ecosystem that we're building, with which tools, with which building blocks, and which capabilities we're trying to give you and other clients, and also try to tie that all back to our own utilities. So thank you, Mac. I think it was a great presentation. I hope everyone has formulated a lot of questions about it. I haven't checked yet. Mm, all right, guys. So before we move on to those questions, we have one major upcoming event that we want to take you guys and inform you on how we are going to be approaching this. And that is, of course, like I said already at the start of this EMA, our liquidity distribution plan that we are going to be executing in a week, when the liquidity becomes unlocked. And we've made a little graphic over here. Spotlight it. Oh, you don't see me anymore. Yes, alrighty. No, yes. All right, guys. So the liquidity pool becomes unlocked within a year. So what most of you have seen and already know is that the liquidity pool that we have set up right now is a V2 Uniswap liquidity pool. Obviously, we set that up at start, to have the tax mechanism to fund our treasury, to make everything what's vertical all about possible. But as also most of you know, we've already removed the tax about 5 months ago. And that is, we don't need to be on a V2 anymore. And we like to go to the most efficient pool for our trading activity for our community. And we strongly believe that V3 has major benefits compared to V2, especially, liquidity management, but also, charge support, etc., etc. And obviously, the pool fees that are provided there, which our community can also, participate in, offers a great incentive and, financial benefit from having the pool over there. So the first thing that we are going to be doing is using the majority of that liquidity to migrate from V2 to a Uniswap V3 for our e-pair. And in general, we are a firm believer that the Base community is one of the best communities to have your token in. And as you all know, we already have a Base pair, but the liquidity is quite thin over there. So what we want to do is we want to grab this opportunity to use a portion of that liquidity to strengthen our Base pair as well. This increases the likelihood of the vertical token to be, tradable in the Coinbase app, through their DEX module, and really gives the Base community the opportunity to trade larger, buys, because the liquidity is sufficient enough. So that is step number 2. And the third step, all these steps that we're taking are all around making our token as available and tradable as possible. And like you all already know, we've been preparing for, a major SEX listing for a while now. And we see a great opportunity here to utilize the liquidity to support, a better and more, respected SEX listing that is actually going to be adding value to our token economy and to our community. So a small portion of that liquidity will be used to reserve funds to pay for a SEX listing. And together with a SEX listing comes, of course, also market making. The market maker needs to make sure that on our behalf, the order books within the SEX, where we are listed, is sufficient enough to support great tradability over there. And to make sure that we have enough liquidity to fill up those order books with enough depth to attract also the investors on the centralized exchange that we get listed on, we got to make sure that the liquidity is sufficient to promote good tradability. So for that reason, we're also going to take a small portion of that liquidity for specific centralized exchange listing. So that is In general, what we're going to be using the liquidity for, out of our plan, there's going to be a small portion left below that we in tokens that we won't be using for any of the top distribution points. And those tokens, we got them from the liquidity pool. We're not going to keep them. We're not going to add them to our balance sheet. This was never part of the tokenomics. So to all fairness to the community, the surplus of tokens that we get left with after the distribution has completely been executed will be burned and taken out of circulation. This way, those tokens will never be part of any sell pressure. We don't take any ownership of it. Those tokens are from nobody, so we are not allowed to keep them. So we need to burn them to keep fairness of this distribution. So guys, this is the general plan, and the objective here is to create the best availability for our token to the most valuable communities, to trade our token, to make it accessible to purchase our token, to also participate in our token economy. And the communities that we're targeting with this distribution, we have carefully thought out and are going to add massive value to our community and token economy in general. So tonight we're going to be posting an official PR article on our Twitter, where we're going to be where we are going into a little bit more depth, how we are going to be handling this distribution, and what percentages we are going to be allocating for each of these steps. So keep an eye out for our socials if you want to read more about this. This is going to be happening in about a week, so be informed. This is of course a major step forward for Vertical, and we are super excited to execute this and to enhance the availability and tradability of our token across more communities. All right, so I think there I covered the token distribution plan. Next week we are going to be announcing as well how we are going to be celebrating our first year anniversary. So Hidden, our head of marketing, is preparing a massive contest, at least like a community reward moment in regards to our first year anniversary. We're not going to spoil any details right now, so make sure to tune in next week on our EMA to get all the details around this community prize pool. Hidden knows best, but not going to spoil anything
Big
here
party.
right now. Big party indeed. All right, guys, I think that was it for today. A bit longer EMA, but I think you guys deserve it. Obviously, a little bit more insight in what's happening, showing you guys what we're cooking. So, all good. So I think now we can move to the questions. Our CEO is tuning in. Thank you. Let's see. Question: how are you planning on improving customer service? By that, I'm referring to responsiveness, unanswered answers via email. Well, to be honest, we have a special email for this, a dedicated email, and as last time I remembered, Hidde is actually checking those emails every day. If your email might have been missed, feel free to ask your question in the Telegram or just send Hidde a DM about your email. Maybe we've seen it overhead, but we're really taking customer support seriously. So maybe do a little bump.
You can always DM me as well in Telegram. I think I know the person that asked this question. We did fix your issue, but I didn't notify you. That's the only thing. So excuse me for that. But I think we are pretty responsive in customer service. We try our best, but we are very busy.
No, we take it seriously. We check it every day. So apologies if we've seen it overhead or maybe we've missed it. But all right. Thank you for the notification. Next question. That is the same. Let's see. Since the payment system has already been online for a while now, will the quarterly token burn happen on this year Q4? If so, when will it take place? So the quarterly burn, guys, that's part of our total token utility pack, right? Where we say that where we burn, 10% on the profits that we made on the vertical payments. But there's the thing, right? We need to generate actual profit. Like we're still building, etc., etc. We do see increase in the revenue, but we haven't hit that point yet. So if token burns will happen, they will happen at the end of each quarter. I think that the payment system has now been live for about 3 months. Wait, my CEO comes in. All right, so Frizo is coming in. All right, do note that the blah, 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 blah. All right, so Frizo just send me a DM on this question. He is the person that is actually, in charge of this part of the company. There is an overall platform overhead OPEX that is deducted first. That means that revenue in VertiEye doesn't automatically mean that these are total profits, right? So we burn the tokens. We burn 10% of the profits that we made, and therefore expect that the first token burn will take place somewhere in Q2 2026, depending, of course, on the platform growth. But that is where we expect to be to hit break even and go into profitability on the platform. All right, thank you, Frizo, for sending me the DM for the explanation. Hope that answered your question. Any updates on the partnership with the Dubai entities? Institutional great partners, if I wasn't mistaken. Well, yeah, guys. These types of partnerships require careful, talks, documents that need to be reviewed by both legal teams. This is not, a partnership with another Web3, project where you agree, in DM in a group and then, execute it. This is something that is being worked on. We are setting up the initial, railways with their network. But we still need to sign off the final things. If there's any updates on those, partnerships, we will update you, of course, directly. But yeah, just know that we are busy with them. This is a major thing that can help us forward a lot. But these types of big things require careful planning. Oh, which one is that? Let's see. There's a question in the chat. Let's see. Which one question is that? Hida, can you please point it out? Okay. All right, Hans, great job in handling the token unlock distribution. By the way, less than 2 months ago, and 36,000 users to go for the team achieving this year. You can do it. Thank you. Best of luck. PS, mobile users for AI tools is very big and lively now. Maybe you guys can prioritize mobile app development. Although it seems impossible for now, you guys try to reach out mobile phone users to make VertiEye has pre-installed software on it when the mobile apps is up and running. So guys, the mobile app development is on the roadmap, right? I think last week or the week before that, we showcased the roadmap, the updated roadmap, and a mobile app is part of it. The thing is though, is that we want to improve the stream first, right? Develop the V2 stream first, and then afterwards we can see how we can transform the new powers of the V2 stream into a mobile app. But we need to lay some foundational first, right? We have limited resources. We have a very powerful, knowledgeable, and smart team working on vertical, day in, day out. We have about 7 extremely capable engineers. You have to realize, right? The resources are limited. If we go for a mobile application, we need to find, a person that knows to build it or maybe outsource that. But before we want to do that, we want to make sure that internally, the products that we have on the web are working phenomenally and then we'll move further to a mobile app. It is on the roadmap. We are prioritizing it, just not now. Let's see. Hope that answered your question. Are there any more questions that we should do here? Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Let's see. All right. One more question. This might be an interesting question for Mackie. Did I see somewhere else? Boom.
Yes, please. What's up? Yeah, so basically that's the idea. The knowledge graph is very advanced. It's a technology from the Vinci Laboratories, and the idea is that you can upload multiple files. Indeed, so we're talking about audio, we're talking about video, we're talking about images, and we're also talking about text files like PDF and docs. So yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yes.
very,
Yeah. So
very
this is actually a very nice question, because this is something that is super impressive of the knowledge, the vertical knowledge graph technology that we're integrating, and that is that you can dump in any type of file, right? And the knowledge graph will create connections between it. That means that it doesn't really matter. You don't have to think about the format. You just dump it in and it works. And it is super powerful, because now it's not only PDFs and text files. You can also dump in images, audio, code, everything. It understands it. It factorizes it. It does factorize it, right?
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
vector database. It does a vector search, so it's also very fast. You can set a
Extremely
threshold on basically the probability that it has the domain knowledge that you added it. So you can play around with that as well. But yeah, basically the knowledge graph will analyze images, audios, and videos, and it will make text files of it and factorize that. So
Yeah. So the beautiful thing about knowledge graph is that you're able to do semantic search on it, and that is actually superpower. It makes it extremely accurate and also extremely fast. And just give you a little example why that is so useful in, let's say, an AI solution, right? Let's say, for example, you've built an AI, voice assistant that can assist customers with their questions regarding their accounts, or whatever that is happening on the service provider side. You don't want your customers to receive incomplete data, or have to wait a long time before the data is retrieved because it's functioning through a RAG system. You want to make sure that your AI model has the knowledge behind it, where it's capable of doing semantic search, getting exact information that is specific to the user, super accurate, where it can retrieve the date, the time, every super specific information, and also it needs to be super fast. And this is a great example. If you would use RAG for this, it would take a long time, and you have a highly likelihood that it won't be accurate. With the vertical knowledge graph, integrating that to your model, it makes it super fast, potentially below 10 milliseconds to retrieve that information. And it makes it extremely accurate compared to RAG knowledge retrieval. So super impressive. And this is just an example of where this could be a very big performance upgrade when switching between two technologies. All right, the EMA has been going on for 43 minutes. I think we can close it off. Let's see if there are any more questions. I don't think so. I think we answered them all. Guys, thank you for asking those questions. I hope we all answered them correctly. If you have any more questions, feel free to shoot them in the community chat. We are always here to answer them, and of course our community team as well. I think for now it's Mac and Mark tuning out, back to work. We wish everyone here a great evening or a great day wherever you are in the world. We see you all on the next one. Thank you.
cheers, guys.